All right. I think I missed a day of videos, but this might be my last video for a little bit. I get a little busy coming up the next few days, and then we got Thanksgiving next week. Um, but so far, so good with the challenge. I don't think it was updated yet, but I guess I'm going to show my Apex accounts. These Trade of A10 accounts. I'm really taking it light with them. I don't think today registered, but it was another 100 or two today onto these totals. I think it updates at the end of the day. You can see how many days I've traded them, and the concept is it's easy to make 1 or 200 a day, but 1 or 200 a day when you do the math is 1 to 2,000 a day, which is kind of what I'm shooting for. You got to pass these evals first, but it's hard to control yourself and not want to get more, knowing that you could, but for several reasons it's not worth it, because with the challenge, some of the rules, you can't make $2,000 in one day and then 100 for 9 days. I think the rules prohibit you from doing that. So you got to kind of keep it consistent, 1 to 200 per day. You can't have one day where you make a third of the profits. It's something like that I read. So again, you got to watch how you trade. You can't make all your money in one day out of the 10 it takes to, when you get a PA account. So trying to get into that mode now. And, as a person, as a trader, what would you be if somebody said, would you be happy with $1,000 to $2,000 a day? Most people would say, hell yeah, I'm happy with that. And, we can, do it relatively easy. So, look at these totals. I'm like, well, big deal. Well, the big deal is, you're upwards of, if I had the lead account, it would be 2,000 for the day. But even if you took these, you're at 1,100 for the day. After commissions, even a little more than 1,100 for the day. And that was just trading maybe an hour or so. I went to micros just because, that's the concept. I'd rather mitigate the risk of blowing the accounts. Trading micro is a lot less likely to get in trouble, especially the way I trade. Where I size in, and I could trade up to 4 or 5 contracts of minis. You could get in trouble pretty quickly if you guess wrong, or if the market goes against you. But my thinking today, I had to trade early because I had to leave by 11 a.m. New York time for a meeting. I usually don't like to trade the first hour. It was kind of sort of news at 10. I don't think it was major, but still somebody was speaking. So I usually don't like to trade. But when the market opened, there was a tremendous spike at 8:30 this morning. It was news. And see if I can roll back to it. Yeah, look at that. So this was news driven. 300 points it went up based on news. You could see, look at that, 8:30. Imagine trade. I don't know how you trade that. Wow, look at this. Yeah, I wasn't. My computer wasn't on, but all morning, and then boom, 8:30. So I went from 500. Look at that. Keeps going, and it goes even more. Yeah, 300 points. So now, I come in and, it's an up strong market, but, do you really want to go long when you're at the highs of the day? And this green line was the highs of the day. So, I knew there could be a major, major pullback of 100 points or more at any point. The market still would have been up 200. So, not a fan of trading this stuff because I really don't want to go long this high. But, I was watching the levels. These levels were here when I came in. Normally when it hits these, you could correct pretty much. And it was correcting down a hand, but the market seemed strong. So I was scalping mainly longs here. When it got to this point, usually at a level like this, and you're at the high of the day, you'll get a little pullback. I played a couple of shorts here. Once it got through, that was the end of the shorts. So I was trading pretty well for the first 10 minutes. But, I was trading 1 micro, 2 micros. What was I making, Going for 5 points, 10 points. You're making 10, 20 bucks. So it was just a slow grind. Again, my trade performance, I wrote platform support for help on this because just nothing's populating. So I don't really know how well I'm trading, although I'm obviously trading well. I don't know if I lost many trades today, if any, but nothing's coming in. I just know I'm winning. So I'd love to see my performance, but it's probably in that 70, 80% win rate at least. I'm not sure if I took any losses. So again, it breaks. Oh, that's NQ. I was trading micros today, but I was watching NQ. Once it broke here, again, you're at the highs of the day, but I was kind of playing this level to the high and being real conservative, 1 and 2 micros. The most I've traded was 6 micros, and that might have been, once this area broke. But then when it got, where was it? Okay, it was up here. This is a strong Ludwig level, and it was at 900. Normally, you'll get a reaction at a whole number like that, 10 points before it gets through it. In this case, it didn't even get through it. So I played these shorts ready. And again, I hate taking a short when you're up 300 points. This one, I actually took 6 contracts and ran it down, and that got my total up. The only mistake I made, and I don't know if you call it a mistake, but you can see my lead account is up more. I'm only $500 away from passing that one. I wish I was linked altogether. This way the whole thing would be $500 away from passing all 10. But anyway, this one's higher because when I clicked back, I clicked on NQ. And I just didn't realize it. And I knew that this level was here at 04. So when I clicked back to NQ and I saw a price, probably right here. Yeah, I went short somewhere in here or here when I saw it 04. It was one of these. And I just wrote it down a little bit. And when I realized it was NQ, because I saw the totals, all of a sudden really high, I just took my profit because, there's a good shot it was going to here. And it's funny that NQ had it up here at 339, but MNQ had it here. And the wild thing is that even though this wasn't on the NQ chart, look how relevant it was. I don't think price ever got through here, NQ. So, it's good that I had both up there because there's a brick wall here. You just don't see it unless, if I wasn't watching MNQ, I would have never known that was here. So it shows that the levels are relevant on both charts. Look at that. The high of the day was right where the brick wall was. And then you could have rode that down and good shot. You going down here. So now as a trader, I really wouldn't want to trade in here because you don't know which way it's going. It's so high, it could just turn around and flip back up. Or it could tag this line and go back up. But if it tags this line and goes through, well, you could be in for a big correction. So for me, it's very hard to trade. So once I was done trading this. I was done at 11. I think this was the last trade here I took. Yeah, I think I took the NQ trade here. Then I switched back to micros. I said, let me win one more trade before I had to go. And that was that one right there. Yeah, it was this one by 11, close to 11 o'clock. Yeah, I took this down right by 11 o'clock, and I was done. And I had to leave. Let me see how the rest of the day went. I haven't looked at the charts. See if it hits that line. Okay. So the way I trade in such an up market, and even here, it still would have been up, 300 points at that point. You got to think it's going to hit and continue back up. And if it gets through, you could be in for a big drop. But normally, you'll get that 10-point bounce. So 43, I'm in. And the way I trade, look how good these levels are. You could have easily got 10 points right there. And the way I've been doing it, at 50, I would have either went at 49 and took 43 to 49. Because it feels like it's stopping right before 50 and 60 and 70. And then flipping it. And you see, it did waffle a little bit there. It did come around. So either there or I would have put it right below 54 before that line right there. But look how relevant that line is. So again, if you took a long here and you target there, that's 10, 15 points. You're looking for 200 to 300 a day, one contract. I mean, you're done. Or, a few micros, several micros, 5 micros, whatever. You can finish pretty quickly. And if you just played that line, I mean, you can see it's really hovering right there. It'd be tough to make any money in there because you're hardly moving at all. But, if you're a scalper like me, again, like I said, look at this. Talking about what I just said, 50, right? Look at this. I don't even know if it hit 50. So if you're taking profits at 49, and that's why I've been doing it, this one doesn't even hit it. But the same goes for the 5, 45, 35, 40. Same thing with that. I've been going, if I'm in at like, say, 40, well, 44.50, I might take my money. 46, 51. So that's been my logic lately, taking the profits, if I'm in from, 30 something, say even 40 or 41, and I'm trading, minis, I might go 44, instead of 100, I'm getting $80 at that point. You're winning the trade, put it in your pocket. And again, the concept, look, the level breaks, it gets through here. Once it gets through here, 60, there you go, 67. To that line, I would take it, and it hits and flips, and that's why I'm taking profits here. Because if you don't, and you see when the bar closes, well, you would have lost money there. I'm horrible with runners. That's not my thing. I wish I knew how to run it. Don't. But again, look at the level. You break the level, and look, it hit before. So if you're, a few ticks before it, a point or two before it, you would have got your money. You wouldn't have had to deal with this situation here because you don't know if it's going to hit and go through. Even here, I mean, it's trying to get through that line. It just can't. It was such an up day. Another thing, which I'm going to go back and look at. I look at ES and I look at YM to see what they're doing. Follow the leader kind of thing. Let's go back here. 11 o'clock. Yeah, so at 11 o'clock, it was approaching. I call it the brick wall. And you can see it hits it. At all the markets, it's amazing how good these levels work. But again, even if you got in, it blasted through it. But then if you're in, trading micros, dollar cost averaging, whatever, you would have cashed out somewhere here. Then that's the way to do it. You don't know if it's going to get through. And eventually it just drops like a rock. So the same thing was going on ES, where 11 o'clock, there we go. It's approaching the wall here, right? And I was in some kind of trade room today, chatting with some people, and their style of trading is different than mine. But I was kind of letting them know what I was doing, and then they were saying how strong ES was. ES is strong today. ES is strong today. And I don't think nobody's using Ludwig levels for me. So I wrote in the group, there's a brick wall at 45.20. I'm done trading for the day. But I'd be curious, if it's going to get through that level, it's not going right through it. You're going to get some kind of pullback before you get through it. Well, then I was gone, and that was at 11. Yeah, so right around here is when I left. 11:15 actually I left. Yeah, so right there. So it was hitting that level right when I left. And look what happened. It hits it, and then boom. And the way I trade, again, I wish I was that good that I would have took from this level right down to that level. Now, I'm curious what NQ did, because I kind of use this as follow the leader. I don't know which one is the leader all the time, but, they do tend to trade together. So this is at 11:18. And it just, if you went short, you killed it. Good 15 points down. But again, you're up. So you were still up 75 points, 70, 80 points. You're up for the day. You want to go? You think you're going to get through here? Probably not. I don't know what happened, but let's see. Yeah, there you go. It fought. It tried to get through here, but if you were in here, dollar cost averaging micros, with several contracts, you made money even on micros. And even if you had minis, you would have made a lot of money. How many points do you need there? So from here, 10 points on ES right there. And again, it couldn't get through. It got through a little bit, but then corrected right back to the end of the day and finally gets through and then crashes back down. So all day, I call it the brick wall. It gets through a little bit and then it just smashes down. So that's why I love these levels so much, because that's how they usually work. And that's why I rarely lose, because even if it gets through, that's not enough to really blow you up, blow your account. It happened to me the other day, though. If you're following me, it went through like 30 points and kind of smoked me. So let's go to NQ at 11 a.m. and see what's going on. All right, so here's 48 hours rolling back. Here it is, right around here. All right, so that we know that brick wall, their brick wall was at 904 on micros. And the high of the day right there. This should really, if ES went down, this had to come down to here. And, if I was a smart trader, I would have been playing shorts over here. I was done for the day, though. Now, when you're hitting here, well, now I'm looking for longs. Let's see how this held up with NQ compared to ES. Yeah, you would have been winning here. Win. How many points is this? Yeah, 15 points on NQ. Again, you're struggling here. It's a little iffy. It doesn't know which way, because if it breaks through, yeah, you're up 300 points, but it could easily go 100 points down, and you'd still be up 200 points for the day. But it was such an up day, and usually the levels do hold. So if you were going to guess, you try to guess to the upper side, and if you're going to put a stop anywhere, you put your stop here. Because if that breaks, who knows what's below. Chances are if it broke, it would have hit this and then flipped. So a great long right there. But look, it's an hour and a half later it took. Look how long it stayed there. Holy mackerel. So it hit it at 11:50. It didn't leave the area until 12:30. So 40 minutes it took. Now, could you have been scalping here for a few points here and there? Yeah, you could have. Anyway, that's a recap for the day. I'm trying to be as conservative as possible in order not to get in any trouble. And there was really not any trades that gave me any trouble today. If I was trading minis, I'd be up $2,000. So, and the most I traded was 6 micros today. I wouldn't probably trade 6 minis, but I would trade 3 or 4. So that's the recap. I'll see if I can find out what's up with the performance. I'd love to see what I'm doing, but I'm not sure when the next video will be. Probably next week sometime. But good luck, everybody.